Okay, now I'm going to show you how I bring back funds out of a project, and I want to bring now my income or my profits back to Coinbase. And so I'm going to show you how I do that. I have here the Ethereum network. I've got USDC. I've already taken deposits and converted it to USDC to bring it back into my Coinbase. So what I'll do is I'll click on this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it. But before I do that, I've got to get my wallet address for my USDC. And one of the reasons I convert inside MetaMask from whatever coin I'm getting out of my project is because I can save a lot in the fees doing the conversion outside of Coinbase. And also, like, for example, let's say I got it in Tether, or let's do this. A lot of times, a lot of our projects work off the Binance chain. So let's say my project is in the Binance chain, but I don't want to bring all of this back at once because I want to just bring in what I had sent out, the amount, so I can match it up to my cost basis to make it easy. And so in that particular case, what I do is I typically save up to the amount that I'm bringing back, or I'll take, let's say I have a few smaller deposits that I brought into crypto through Coinbase. And so I want to take and break this up into those smaller deposits, bringing them back with a little profit so I can watch my profit and loss gains and keep track of that. It's really important for me, especially in my tax bracket, to kind of keep an eye on that. I could lose earned in the EIC credit if I go beyond too much crypto earnings in a given year. There's just a lot of things that I think about that affect my tax bracket, the amount of taxes I pay, how much is taken out of my paycheck. And if that's you, you're going to want to do something like this where you save up what you're earning in your crypto, but only bring back, what's appropriate for each deposit in to crypto, and to just, kind of do an analysis as you're bringing funds back, maybe bring a little profit and just keep an eye on how it builds up over time. So this is one of my tax strategies that I do to kind of keep an eye on my earnings and keep it below those thresholds where I would trigger a new tax bracket or lose my EIC and things like that. As a single mom, it's kind of important. So what I'm going to be doing, just remember, whatever you invest in is your cost basis, and then whatever you take out is your profit, and it triggers when you send funds back into Coinbase to take it to your bank. So I'm just going to show you what I did because I already did a conversion, and you'll see what I'm wanting to send into Coinbase. But let me just show you how I did that. I clicked on my Binance Tether, and then I just hit swap. And then I put in what I wanted to, which was $125 on this one because it's a $100 deposit and I wanted some profit. And so I put in something like that. I forgot to show you this. So what I did is I actually selected the coin of USDC. See how it has that Ethereum icon right there? That's the network that Coinbase takes. So it is the USDC on Ethereum that you want to convert to. And in my case, it was something like this. I think I did 126 because I wanted 125 to send back in USDC, send back to my Coinbase to kind of something about that. But there are fees that they'll take out. I might have even done a little bit more. I don't remember. Maybe I did that. But anyway, it's something like that. I played with it a little bit on my numbers of how much I wanted to bring back. I wanted $25 profit, something around that. And so remember, there are fees when you're sending out of your MetaMask. And so you might get a little bit less than 126, might be 125 when it gets into Coinbase. So I just play with the numbers a little bit. Doesn't have to be too exact. But that's what I did, is I basically took that swap on the USDT Binance and I swap it right into USDC. And as you can see, that number kind of flips because the costs will fluctuate throughout the time that you're actually doing it. But that way, and click in here in the tokens, I have in BNB chain. Once I sent that back, I got my USDC, and I'm right about where I wanted it to be, and I'm going to send this back into my Coinbase account to be able to take this to my bank. So in order to send it, now that I've clicked on the coin, I have to click on USDC in my Coinbase account, and I'll click on, once I click on the coin, on the right hand side, you see this little icon down here, the icon that says receive crypto. I'll click on that, and then it's the Ethereum chain that I'll be receiving on. So I click on that, and then I copy my wallet address for Coinbase. Then I can go in here back to my MetaMask and hit send. I'm going to paste that in, and now that I have the Coinbase wallet address for my USDC, now I can max what I have in my wallet, or let's just leave a little bit behind because maybe I just want it just at 125, right? So I'll just do that. And now I'm going to hit continue. And I double check my numbers here on my Coinbase side and make sure this looks about right. And then I hit confirm, view activity, and now I'll click on my USDC. It still hasn't gone through yet because it'll take a couple minutes for it to send it out. So when I do click on the activity, you can see the pending USDC, and I'll just give it a few minutes and then it should go through. Oh, there it is. On the activity, sent 125, click on my tokens, and sure enough, my USDC just has a few pennies left in it. All right, now I can go back to my Coinbase, and I'll click on the cash tab. Well, it still hasn't come in yet, but I can click on that USDC, and you can see how it says I'm receiving my USDC, 125. I can click in transactions, and I can also keep an eye on it coming back in this way as well. I can click on it, still shows pending, so it might be a couple minutes. And now, once you have your funds in USDC, it's really easy to take it back to your bank. And then with the withdrawal tab, you can select which bank account you want to take your funds back to send it back to your bank. And I don't like to do the instant because that has fees. So I do the 1 to 3 business days and select whichever account I want to do. And I can just do that and then preview and send it right back into the bank. Under the section for taxes, you go into the see more, and then you go down to taxes. And whenever you bring funds in, you want to match it up with the cost basis. So what you'll do is you'll scroll, once you bring up taxes, you'll scroll down to the place where it says view full activity. When you click on that, you see how it says add cost basis. And when you click add details, that brings up the items that still need to have cost basis added to them. Or you can also look, there's usually a little red triangle when you need to add those cost bases. Now for this one, I already added the cost basis, but let me just show you. You can click on it or click on the triangle, and then it gives you the option. If you need to modify it, just click in here. You can select the date that you acquired, the amount, the asset, when you brought those funds in to your USDC, and enter the cost basis there and the date, and then save it, and you're good to go. And it will track the gain and losses on your earnings, and you can kind of keep an eye on that so that you don't exceed your budget for the amount of investment income you want to be able to take for your tax bracket. And that's it. That's how you bring your funds back to your bank whenever you're taking profit from one of your crypto projects. through MetaMask and into either Coinbase or Kraken. Just don't forget to match up those cost bases so you have a proper form that is generated, because they'll do that at the end of the year. They'll give you what's called a 1099 DA that you can download and give to your tax accountant for your taxes next year. Remember that we are not financial advisors. I'm just showing you what I do, and all crypto projects are risky, especially ones that are done outside of the major networks. You can lose any or all of your funds, and you have to recognize that whenever you're doing any kind of investment, especially when it comes to crypto. Don't invest anything you can't afford to lose. And the number two rule is to take your profits back to your bank as soon as possible when your whatever investment is generating income for you. Work on getting those funds out of the market as early as possible so that whatever else your investment makes, you are in no more risk. And that's my advice for you. But again, I'm not a financial advisor. Please consult with a financial advisor before you make any significant financial investment decisions. This is just information for your studies and purposes only, and do your own research before making any significant financial investment decisions.